Gary, thank you so much. Always good information. Um, we talk about lead generation. I try to, in every week, I try to get you guys some way that you can help you to generate business or to improve your business or to get more buyers or get more sellers. And I think one of the overlooked and underserved uh, ways to generate that business is open houses. And I think there's a stigma around open houses that they don't work, right? They don't work. They're you just don't get much out of them. You spend your time there and nothing happens, or you go to open house and have one person come through. It's just a waste of time. You have people that say that, and then you have this statistic that come out from NAR that says only 1% of all houses are sold through an open house. Well, let me talk about that real quick. You're not there to sell that house, okay? Not what you're doing an open house for. You might sell the house, lower odds of it, but more than likely you're there so you can pick up additional business, pick up buyers, and maybe also pick up listings. The problem with open houses is that we're not doing them correctly, and we're not putting the time, energy, effort, and money into an open house so that it pays off. So I'm going to go over some things that you can do to make your open house stand out and to make your open house, well, that's weird, right? That's even weirder. Yes, because we're trying to do it online. Do we have that on that computer, downloaded that computer that we can do it through actual PowerPoint? So, well, they're working on that. The open house concept that we all think, and this is traditionally what we see people do, we put it in the MLS. It's going to be open on Saturday. And then we show up maybe an hour before on Saturday, and we put signs out. And then we go in the house, and we sit down, and we wait. That's a typical open house. And if you want to put that much effort into it, you're going to get that much result. Okay? So there are 1,000 other things that should be done starting a week prior to that property being listed that you can do. And we're going to go over those things today, and then hopefully it will give you some ideas and give you some ways of making your open houses way more successful. And I'm going to tell you, if you have a successful open house and you have people showing up and it's just really phenomenal, the neighbors are going to want you to sell their house because of what you did. So we're going to talk about all of those things that's going to help that. So advertising an open house. Open house is only successful you can get people to attend. You should rarely solely rely on word of mouth and a sign outside. And we just talked about that, right? So when we talk about advertising, we really need to drill down and figure out what it is we're going to do for advertising next. Okay, real estate sites, right? Websites. Where all you advertise these open houses is very important. Now, our MLS helps us with that because if we put it in our MLS and we had it as an open house, it gets syndicated out as an open house that day, right? But if there's any other place like Post-its or any other websites you can think of or any other places that you can do this, look at Trulia still on this slide. Wow. We need to get rid of that. I don't even exist anymore, do they? Oh, they do? Is Trulia still around? You don't hear much out of them. What's that? Yeah, well, they were competitors and then Zillow bought them out, right? Yeah, if that's Zillow's motto in some of these big corporations, right? If somebody's a little bit of a threat, just buy them out and then they're no longer a threat. Realtor.com, add open house information to your property listing. So make sure everywhere your house is showing up, if you're going to be doing an open house, go in and check. Spend the time to check those other sites and make sure that the general public is seeing that you're actually holding an open house at this property. Okay? Super, super important. Social media. Man, about 8 billion ways that we can advertise open houses on social media. Leverage your social media sites. How many people have a good social media presence? Okay. How many people want a good social media presence? All right. So if you don't have a good social media presence, then that's a part of your business that you should start working on, right? I had a horrible social media presence for Away Real Estate. I hired a company and I have a great social media presence, right? So everybody is starting to see who we are. Who was it? Was you, Karen? Karen was at an event, and an Iron Valley agent came up and said, "Who are you with?" She went, "Away Real Estate." He goes, "Oh my God, I'm hearing about them everywhere right now." That's a good thing. That means our social media that we're doing is working. People are hearing more about us. But Instagram, I like the ones, Mike Little from Iron Valley, he does a good one. He goes in and has a nice video done, and you need to have a video. We're going to talk about that. Does a nice video. Hey, welcome to the open house. I'm Mike Little, co-founder of Iron Valley and principal broker. Welcome to my listing today. And then it's got some nice graphics, and it shows the whole house, and at the end it goes to him again. Those are great things to do for an open house, and you can do those several days beforehand and have it on there. Hey, we're holding this open house on this date. So those types of things just enhances that social media aspect, enhances your advertising of it, and gets more people to there, right? So, open house. All right. Strategically picking your day and time. When would you guys say the best time to list a property is? What day of the week do you typically think the best day is to list a property? Thursday. It's a great day to list a property because on Thursday, people start getting, if you list it on Thursday, they'll see it that day, that night when they get off work. They'll get with their agent the next day, probably schedule something for the weekend, right? So that is a great day to do that. I'm going to run through real quick, and we'll talk about each one of these things, but I'm going to run through, and this, you're not going to see this on a slide, but I'm going to tell you some best practices for timelines of strategically listing a house. So if you're going to list your house on a Thursday, the week prior to that house being listed, you need to send out invitations to 2 sets of people to an open house. The first set of people you need to send your invitations out to is a broker open that you're going to hold Thursday afternoon. Every real estate agent that you can think of, create an event, invite them, say, hey, I'm going to be holding a broker's open on this date, right? So that all of those people, and try to get as many real estate agents out there as you can to come and look at your listing, okay? Create that event. And then Friday night, you're going to also, the second group of people you're going to send out to is everybody in the neighborhood. So a week prior, you're going to do invitations in the mail that inviting them to a private open house party on Friday night, like 5 to 7 Friday night, right? This is not for the general public. This is only for the neighbors. And you need to list it that way. Hey, this is for you. This is a private open house just for the neighbors and residents of Thalia. Sydney will tell you about how successful this exact plan was in a neighborhood I did it in. So you have that. And you have a party that night. You have drinks. You have a charcuterie cups. You have the things, because what you're doing is you're impressing the future listings that you're going to get from that neighborhood. So you really get those invitations in the mail a week prior to. You get that Facebook event and inviting all the agents for that Thursday, just for broker open agents, and then Friday night it is going to be specifically for the neighborhood, and you're going to be mailings out for those. Now, as we move forward in the week, you're going to continue with your advertising. It's hard to advertise because you have a coming soon kind of thing issue with our MLS, right? But you can say open house coming, exciting open house coming this weekend, details to follow, right? Just kind of leave it at that. That way you haven't advertised the property, and then on Thursday, when that property goes live, you start hammering that stuff really, really hard. Friday night, though, that's your sweet spot, okay? Friday night is where you're going to pick up other listings. I can't tell you how important that is, especially in today's environment. So a couple of days prior to, so maybe on Wednesday, you need to door knock the neighborhood and hang door hangers on the neighborhood. That says, hey, hope you got our invitation in the mail. If you did not, here is another invite, because we really want you to come over and see what's going on and explain to them again that it's private. It should have the same marketing. It should have the same look, feel, and message as the mailing that you sent out. And now you've knocked on the door. Some people are going to answer, hey, look, man, I just want you to come over and see what the house, blah, 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 right? So now you've done that. So now Friday night comes along, right? How many people do we have show up, Sydney?
Probably around, 10 to 20?
We counted 38 people.
Oh my God.
38 people showed up at that open house. And I've got listings coming up from that, okay? They all came. They were super impressed with the house, and I got time to have a conversation with them, and everybody just kind of, and they'll take care of their own socialization, because they all get to see their neighbors, right? So it's just a party that you hold. Make it a fun time. You're not there about selling a house. You have information out. What information should you have out during that time frame? You should have a package about this house. If you've got a survey, that should be in there. If you've got the disclosures on your not your CDIF, but your ACUS and those things, that should be there. If you have the tax records, that should be there. If you have a current listing, that should be there. If you have a marketing flyer that you and Karen made together, that should be there. And you should have copies of those in that package that you can hand out to people. Plus, you have all that information in the book that they can flip through. We have an incredible binding machine now that you guys have access to use, and where you can actually make up a really nice. Do you have one handy that I can? That you can make up a really nice brochure for this company, and she'll show you how to use the binder. So this is it right here, right? So we have this nice hard copy on the back, and plastic on the front. It's bound. It looks nice. It's professional, and it looks good. And then you can just put everything in there. By the way, remember I've been promising you guys that we're going to have a buyer's guide and a seller's guide. We have that now. We're working on it. We're still working out some of the details, but it's very comprehensive and it's very, very good, especially the seller's guide. It's almost a pre-listing package, and at the end of it, we put all the forms. Anyways, so we have that available so that you can come in and you can make these. Bring your own paper. But we have the binding machine that can help you out with that. So you want to have all of that stuff laid out so that it looks very professional, a combination of science and art, right? Because you want it to look, you just don't want to have brochures up there stapled together. I mean, come on, that does not bode well for, it's just not super professional. The other thing too is, how do you think we should dress at an open house? Any open house, what dress should we wear at an open house? Business casual, right? You don't want to go into an open house wearing flip-flops and a t-shirt or blue jeans. You want to go to an open house, you want to look professional. You want to be that person that when they walk in the room, you don't want, if there's 20 people in a room, you don't want people guessing who the real estate agent is. You want them to know who the real estate agent is, right? And so, name badge, great one to wear, right? How many people have a name badge? You should have one. I have one. They're easier and cheaper to order online. Okay. But I have one. They're little, and they magnet, so you should have a name badge. So when you're at these places, you're easily identifiable. I used to wear my badge like I'd be going to the grocery store, man. I'd wear that badge. And somebody was like, "You work here?" I'm like, No, I work in real estate. Oh, really? And then we'd wind up having a conversation about real estate, right? Because I'd forward the question out of them like you would not believe. I'd forward them to death. Poor bastards, right? So just remember, Sunday's a traditional day, but I'm for open house. But I like to go Thursday, broker open, Friday night, private event, and then have an open house on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, times are up to you. Think about your neighborhood. Yes.
Brokerage is a great idea, but how do you reach everybody?
So Karen's question was, a broker open is a great idea, but how do you reach everyone? So for me, right, I have a lot of my my Facebook is just piled with real estate agents as friends, right? And I have them delineated in there, broken out. I can say real estate agents and break out that group of people, and I do an invite that way. That's probably the easiest and quickest way I can think of to get. How many people have a lot of real estate agents in on their Facebook page they're friends with? That's one of the quickest ways to do it. You do not?
There's a lot of them in there, but yeah, I try not to flip.
She's friends with them, but she sounds more like she's frenemies with them.
I'm trying not to accept them. I don't get them.
For me, it's I'm in a little bit different boat. Yeah, no, I hear you, but they might help you get that household. So the broker open is you can do it. You just need you have agents that you're friends with, right? Get them to come. Get the agents at Away Real Estate. You have the contact there for everybody at Away. Get these people to come, right? Yes, Aaron.
And this market is kind of changing to go back to when I did this, but I did a broker open once where we had 3 different agents in the same neighborhood, and we did a progressive lunch from 3 different agencies. One of those.
Yep.
So that way we could have, again, they're pushing it out to their agency, right? So there's 3 different agencies, and then one person was appetizer, one person was sandwiches, one person was desserts.
We did a progressive one like that, and not for agents, but for the general public. We did one where it was in West Neck, and there was 4 open houses in there. And what we did was we had a treasure map, and I got all the agents on board, and we all had the same one. And if you got signatures from all 4 agents, you were entered to win a $100 gas card. We all kicked in $25 each, and everybody went to every one of the houses. We had like probably 20 people that went to all 4 houses and got signatures, and they thought it was fun. So they didn't matter which one they started at, they got a thing and said, oh, here's the map to the other 3. So, so that's a way of cooperating with other agencies and opening things up too.
You can also create a Facebook event.
Yep, Facebook event, absolutely. The other thing too is invite all of your friends to your open house. How many people have a bunch of friends on Facebook? Invite them to the open house. Hey guys, make up an event just for your friends and say, hey guys, I'd love it if you could stop by and see me at blah, blah, blah. Would love to show you this house that we've got listed. It's really cool. It's really cute. You may know somebody. Please come by and stop by and see us. We're going to have a few drinks and refreshments. Okay, so these are ways, and as you can tell right now, if you just did the stuff that I just said, it would be 1,000 times more than 90% of the real estate agents in Hampton Roads do for their listings. But wait, there's more. There's going to do more. This is about picking your date and time again. Go ahead. All right. Invite the neighbors. We just talked about that extensively. And I mean, look at this. Invite the neighbors. Don't be afraid to spend a little bit of money on your open houses. Think of it this way. It's advertising. It's advertising and showcasing how professional and how good you are so that people will want to use you. Still inviting the neighbors. Plenty of ways you can let your neighbors go back one. On the day of the event, make sure there are plenty of signs and balloons to attract neighbors and passersby. Advertise ahead of time through door knocking on doors in the neighborhood by leaving flyers on doors. I mean, really blanket the neighborhood and let everybody know what you've got going on and get them to come by. And that private open house event on Friday night, I'm telling you, that's your big one. You don't want the public in there. You want a bunch of people in there one time that all know each other, that all talk and have a good time. And trust me, they will seek you out. I had 3 people pull me off into other rooms to talk to me that night. Hey, let me talk to you about it because it was a hell of an event. So it worked well. And Sydney helped me with the whole thing. She was so instrumental in helping me get, we got the mail outs and Sydney door knocked for me. It was crazy. Everybody answered their door too, didn't you, just about?
They sure did. I thought I was going to get yelled at and told to get off their property, and everybody was super nice.
Yeah, I mean, when you tell them, hey, look, we're throwing a party for you guys. We're throwing a party for the neighborhood Friday night. Okay, right? And we did it out far enough out so they could plan it. All right, open house block party. This is what I was just talking about. I've kind of gotten ahead of the slides and one thing or another, but it's here so you guys will have it later, right? But create that buzz and everybody starts talking about it, right? So when you knock on a door and you give them that, hey, look, make sure you tell your neighbors, maybe not everybody heard. I'd love it if everybody came over. We're just going to have a good time. There's going to be drinks and appetizers and finger foods, and we're really just going to showcase house. Come on over, blah, blah, blah. Now, of course, you got to get permission from your seller to do all of this. And there's some really, really important things before you start dragging everybody in this house that you need to do. Go ahead. Remove clutter, personal items, and valuables, right? This is where we talk about, Rob brought up a while ago, there's some guy in a black car with a cane that's looking for open houses where people are still living there and they're going in and stealing stuff. So just be aware of your surroundings, and when you have people in other buildings, make sure you talk to your clients about, hey, listen, we want to make sure that all your valuables are put away when we're doing an open house. Don't leave watches and jewelry and stuff laying out. Make sure you put them in drawers. Make sure you lock them up. Meds are another big one, right? Because somebody will say, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. Where are most people's meds kept? In the bathroom, in the medicine cabinet, right? So make sure that they have their meds locked up. So just really go over some of that safety features with them. And when you have a single person in the house, don't let them just roam the house by themselves, right? And you want to make sure you never let them get between you and an exit, but you can follow them, okay? You can follow them and make sure, just kind of keep an eye on them. You're probably not going to have too big of an issue with the block party, right? That's all their neighbors and friends anyways. But just be aware that it's a possibility. It's a good conversation to have with them, okay? So just make sure that the house is a blank canvas, not too many personal stuff. Clutter is taken up and gotten rid of so it's not messy. I mean, everybody here has had a party Make sure your house is party ready, right? Party ready for Friday night, party ready for the open house on Saturday and Sunday. Party ready. It's clean, it's updated, everything looks good. Might even, see, put all that stuff. You can go ahead. Again, just another slide talking about remove clutter and personal items. So don't leave those valuables around. Next slide. Okay, stage the home with quality furniture and decor. Okay, now staging is expensive, and I'm not suggesting you pay for staging. What I am suggesting is that you have a very long conversation with your seller about the advantages of staging a home, particularly if that home is vacant. So if you looked at Piney Point when it was vacant and you look at Piney Point when it was staged, different house. I mean, it's a different animal. And that really helped me get the price I wanted for it. So talk to them about that. If they're living in the house, then I am going to suggest you pay for this. About $200, you can have Kim Dombrowski will come out and meet with your sellers and will walk through every room of that house, telling them what they need to do in order to stage that house correctly with the furniture and stuff that they already have. And it is much easier coming from that stager when the stager walks in and goes, you really have to get all of this clutter off of this countertop. Versus you having that hard conversation with the seller telling them, hey, get your shit off the countertop. Right? You can come back and you can go, hey, look, here's the list. Okay, all right, so she said we need to remove this and we need to do that. And I just did that at Kingsfield and it worked out really well. They had 300 pairs of shoes in the mudroom. Oh my God. So yeah, it was a lot. So when we went back and we did Kim came through and she walked and told them everything we did. I came back, I'm like, man, the place really looks good. You have to understand, Jason, who owns Atlantic Coast Countertops, a great guy. He's like, and he's just this big, burly dude. He doesn't know a boundary on anything. And he looks at me and goes, yeah, well, just don't open no fucking closets. He goes, because I'm not going to unbury you for the thing, what's going to fall out of the closet. So he did, but he did what he was supposed to do. He put everything in the closet. So if you show Kingsfield, don't open the closets. That's not, it's going to be everywhere. So, but the house looks great. Y'all saw the picture. The house looks wonderful, though. But staging the property, making sure that personal stuff, everybody likes to have all their kids' stuff on the refrigerators. No, get it off. Get it off. We'll be able to see the refrigerator. I don't care about your kids' finger paintings and turkey hand. I don't care about none of that. No, neither do other buyers, right? So get rid of all that personal stuff. All of that stuff, just make that go away. Again, staging is a proven strategy. We all know that. We talked about that. Keep pets out of sight, right? Open house on the party. You don't want your pets running around. People have allergies. Some are just scared of them. It's just the most ridiculous thing ever. But they really should be put up for an open house or even for the party, right? People need to be concentrating on the house, not the cuteness of a dog, okay? And some people, again, everybody knows I'm a huge animal lover, right? But open houses and parties are not a place for the animals, okay? So they need to be taken out of the home, gone during open houses. And if they have kennels should be put away, not left out. They should be put away. Again, just talking more about that. All right. So you need to be there, right? And you need to be at the door and you need to greet guests when they come in. And what kind of conversations should we have with people coming to an open house? Should have forward conversations, right? Don't talk about the house. They're there to see the house. They'll see the house. If they have questions, they'll ask you questions about the house. You don't need to sell the house. The house will sell itself. What you need to do is get to know these people and develop some rapport, right? So we ask them forward questions. Hey, how long have you been in the area? What do you do for a living? Yada, 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 right? Oh, is your family around, right? Family, occupation, what do you guys do in the neighborhood? Ask these questions. Be friendly, be inviting, and don't be overbearing and pushy, and let them approach you, that attractor distancer dance, right? Don't chase them. Just ask, very nice questions and just be relaxed about it. And they will ask you questions about the house, and that's when you answer them. But I can't tell you, I do go to open houses and I walk in and I'm bombarded right beginning. Oh, wait till you see this house and this beautiful feature and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, geez, man, back off, right? I feel like I'm at a car lot or something. Just give me a minute. Hi, I'm Kenny. I'm doing the introduction. So make sure that you're just a friendly environment when these people come in. Develop that rapport, because who's the people that are going to do business with you and why are they going to do business with you? Because they know, like, and trust, right? And they're not going to do business with you until they know, like, and trust you. And they're not going to get to know you by you sitting there screaming at them all the virtues and beauties of this home, right? They will get to know you, and they will hopefully get to like you if you're just having genuine conversations with them, finding out about them, letting them talk 70% of the time, asking your forward questions, and then asking another question, and really unpacking who this person is. And then they're going to ask questions about you, and you get to know each other. That's how you get someone to know, like, and trust you, okay? So don't bombard them with too much conversation. Again, we'll talk a little bit about safety here. When somebody does come into an open house, make sure there's always 2 exits. You make sure you know where they are. Make sure you know anybody know what a weapon of opportunity is? It's anything that you can swing that will hurt someone. Okay? Anything that you can swing that will hurt someone. When you first go into your open house, identify those items in each room that is a weapon of opportunity. If somebody attacks you, then your goal should be to get to that weapon of opportunity, because like my daddy used to say, God made big men, he made little men, and he also made equalizers, and that is a weapon of opportunity, right? You can take a guy much bigger than me, I pull out a billy club, I'm probably going to beat the living hell out of him, okay? Just saying, right? I hit somebody with a stick, it doesn't hurt me. It hurts them, right? So just keep that in mind. Always keep an exit. Always keep yourself, never let them get between you and an exit, okay? But allow them to go through the house, allow them to see what's going on, let them do most of the talking, let them ask questions. You don't need to be pointing everything out. Oh, look, it's brand new carpet. They can see it's brand new carpet, okay? Did you see the granite countertops? Duh. Hello, Captain Obvious. It's granite countertop. They're there, okay? Now, if there's some things that they can't see that you want to point out, that's fine. Like, and I'm using Alcee Kingston because it's just currently listed, right? It's like, also, just to let you know, the pool is not only is the pool heated, but in the summertime when the temperature gets up around 95 and your water temperature is 95, this pool actually has a chiller on it to bring it down to make it more comfortable swimming, because nobody likes to swim in a tepid pool, so this pool has a chiller on it. Things you don't. So that's kind of a cool feature, right? And not something that would be readily seen, and it's okay to bring those types of things up. All right. Something else you could definitely have on the counter. Pre-inspection. What I like to do is get a house inspected and then have everything repaired that I found on the inspection, and then write on the inspection summary, repaired, replaced, and then put it out there and say, we had an inspection, these are the things we found, these are the things we fixed. Right? It gives people a much higher level of comfort when they can actually look at a professional home inspection. I'm not saying they'll use that one, they may get another one, but they're going to feel a lot more comfortable actually moving forward on a house that's already been inspected and a bunch of stuff's already been fixed, because they understand that the seller's serious about selling the house. He's not trying to hide anything. It's just an open book. And I've always said this, it is what it is, right? We never try to hide things that are wrong with the house. I also get a moisture and termite inspection done. I try to get as many of these contingencies that I know are going to come up in the contract, get rid of them, or at least give people a comfortable feeling about them before they ever move forward. And I mean, what a great comfortable feeling to know you're looking at a house in a crawl space and you have a very clean report here of the crawl space. And or, hey, these are the issues we found in a crawl space, and this is what we did to fix it, and all the invoices right there and everything is done. So that's always makes people feel much more comfortable about writing a contract. Sign-up apps. That's a great way, right? Hey, and we always say, hey, look, the seller's request anybody comes to the home, we need to just actually have you sign in just for safety purposes and one thing or another. And we have open house app for Sierra and for KB Core.
Yep.
Right?
KB Core, agents can set it up on their own. Sierra, give me a heads up so I can make a webpage for you.
Right. So you have this sign-in app, and it is so important to make people sign in, right? Because even if they say they have an agent, about 90% of the time, well, maybe not 90, but at least 50% of the time, they don't. They're just saying it because they don't want to be hassled by you because you just first met them, right? But if you make them sign in, and then you continue to have that forward conversation and develop rapport and get to know the person, they get to know, like, and trust you a little bit, then they'll be like calling you, and you'll be following up with them via email, and they'll start talking to you, and you'll start to realize they don't have an agent. They just said that to throw you off the trail. But now they've gotten to know you, they like you, and they want to do some business with you. So it's so important. If you don't, the sign-in app just makes it easy, right? Because when you have the sign-in app, It's all there. It goes right into your database and it's done. If you have them hand sign in, right, then you have to go and you have to put it in by hand, and it's just another step. So this just makes it easy. KV Core has a great app for it, and Sierra has one that we can set up for you whenever you're doing open house.
And both of them have action plans, automated action plans you can hook up. That can be as complicated or as simple as you want. They'll send a text and an email thanking them for coming and give them a link to your webpage.
Yep. How cool would it be that they sign in and, by the time they get in their car or later that evening, they get a thing that says, hey, thanks for coming by our open house today. Is there any other questions you had? And those text messages go out automatically. So it's a really, really great thing. Yes, Rob?
Do you do this during the neighborhood party too? Or?
So the question was, do I do this during the neighborhood party also? I tried to. We didn't have a whole lot of success with that. People were just coming over to kind of party. So I already have all of their information. I have their home address and one thing or another. So one of the things that I didn't do at Piney that I should have done was did a follow-up mailing out maybe on that Tuesday or Wednesday of the following week with just a little survey card. Maybe something that says, hey, can you go to this link or scan this QR code and give us a survey and give us your thoughts on the house, right? So that would be an easy thing to set up because you can set up something very, very simple for them to, a link that goes somewhere where all they do is put in notes and it just gets them interacting with you, right? So that's even more important. So you can do something like that. You could also do that with everybody that showed up to the house, right? Send them if you got their information, send them a QR code or send them a link. If you got their email address, says, hey, can you please give us your information or please give us, no, your information, already got that. Give us your thoughts or your feedback on what you thought about the open house. The seller would really appreciate hearing some brutally honest feedback, right? So ask for that kind of stuff. And it doesn't matter what they say. All you're looking really to do is develop a relationship with this person, right? And that's just another reason to be able to reach out and talk to them by getting that feedback. So a feedback survey after the open house is a great way or another way to do that. And I would do that with the people at the party. I would send them another mailing out with a QR code that says, please do that. And then at open house, when you get their information, I would send that out also, right? So they would have that. Okay, provide refreshments. There's always this stigma on alcohol, right? So I don't mind providing alcohol on that party. Well, so I don't mind doing that at the neighborhood party, right? But I would be careful about serving alcohol at a regular open house, right? Because people come in, they have a drink, and they go out, and they get in an accident, and they go blame you. But you're doing one for the neighborhood. That's a little bit different. The owners are going to be there at your neighborhood open house party, right? Maybe. It's okay if they are.
What's your recommendation on that? Or does it depend?
It depends.
They're not driving. They're walking.
Right. Well, what he's talking about is about having the owners there during the private party. I'm okay either way, depending on who they are. So, as I was saying about the open house. So, yeah. So, refreshments. Just be careful what you provide. But one of the things that I used to do is I would take the roll Tall House cookies, right, and I would cut them up, and I'd put them on a pan, and I'd put them in the oven at 200 degrees. That doesn't cook the cookie. Boy, it sure does make the house smell good. Okay? Smell of warm cookies is a great thing, right? So be careful with kids. The next slide is going to say milk and cookies. Or that's good. No, wine and cheese late afternoon, evening, coffee and pastries in the morning, right? You can do stuff and you don't have to. I'm just saying, just be careful. Here's the one, milk and cookies. People coming in with kids, you're giving them milk and cookies to spill. What's that?
There should be no chocolate.
No chocolate.
No chocolate.
No chocolate. Okay, no chocolate. Do peanut butter cookies, not chocolate chip cookies. But they get on things, seasonal hot drink. Just be careful that, just know people could spill crap, right? Especially kids. Kids spill things. So just be careful with that. But do provide some refreshment. We talked about your handouts, your marketing. Make sure they have stuff to take with them, with all of your marketing information and material on it, okay? Not just your card. It has to be a piece of material that is scientific and art. Art looks good, scientific, gives them something of value that they need or have issue with.
Just sales data on the neighborhood. You can't think of anything else.
Yeah, that's another good one, stuff about the house. Next slide. Create video walkthrough. Probably one of the most important things that you can do is to have your photographer do a video walkthrough or do one yourself and then have it professionally touched up or edited or whatever, because I don't think we have this on here. What's the next slide? Next one. That's it. Okay. So I didn't put it on there, but here's what we know. 97% of listings do not have a video walkthrough. And here's what we also know. Listings with videos, people are on those sites an average of 90 seconds. And listings without videos, they're on that site an average of 5 seconds. So what does that tell you? You need a listing video walkthrough. It's even okay if you do the walkthrough yourself, if that's the best you can do, but it's better to go ahead and have a professional video walkthrough. With the age we have now of the TikTok and the Reels and the short format videos, that's what people want to see. That's what people want to see. People want to they don't want to read. We're gotten so lazy we don't even want to read anymore. We don't even have to scroll through photos. That's just too much work to have to scroll through some photos. They just want to go, oh, video. Oh, let me take a look at this house. And they'll watch the house for 30 to 45 seconds. If they're really interested, maybe a minute and a half. So make sure that you have video of your house. And the easiest way to get that video is to do one of three things. Have your photographer do it, or hire somebody like, what was her name? Yoda, right? Go out there and film you doing it, do some professional touch-ups. Alex Bird. Yeah. Have somebody come out and do some professional video walks so you have that video content. I'm bragging on Mike Little right now because, I just think he did a great job. If you go through his feed right now, he's got a video where it shows him talking about it, and then it goes, and the entire, it's kind of cool, the entire condo complex falls out of the sky and sits down on the ground, and it's kind of cool. It's like, oh, welcome to you. So, and it's that type of stuff that keeps people looking and gains. What do we got? Because we have to have people in curiosity, or interest. Curiosity breeds interest. Interest breeds commitment, right? So we have to curious, interest, commitment. We have to get those people to that point. That's a lot, but I think, honestly, that's probably the minimum you should be doing for an open house. Because if you do these things that we talked about today, you're going to wind up getting a buyer or a listing on just about every single open house that you do. How many people in here have done everything that I just talked about at an open house? I have. Rick, you have. Rick, Rick's been doing this how many years, Rick?
40.
Rick's been doing this 40 years. Have you ever done an open house where you did all this stuff and you didn't get some type of business from it?
I've never sold the house, but I've always gotten buyers and other.
Never sold the house, but he's gotten listing and he's gotten buyers because he's taken the time to market and advertise and promote the property the way we should be doing as professional real estate
Taking into account 40 years ago, we didn't have all this crap.
Rick said taking into account 40 years ago, they didn't have all this crap, and he's right. But I bet you still door knocked and sent out invitations and did the things you needed to do to get people there.
Everything was print and newspaper advertising.
Yep, print and paper advertising, right? Boy, that takes some planning right
May
there.
I have a question?
Yes. Terry, go ahead.
Peanut Gallery has a question. With not being able to advertise ahead of time, when you send out invitations for any of these groups, how do you handle that if we're not supposed to advertise ahead of time?
So what I do is I put stand by for more information on a beautiful house coming to market on this date, and I give them no address.
Okay.
Right? And then the day of the day it gets listed, I go ahead and hit all of those people with that address. Hey guys, I told you this. We had a great open house coming up with this great property coming up. Here it is. It's now active, live, ready to go. I think it's a stupid rule. It's a rain rule, and I the coming soon. Anybody know why they have the coming soon rule?
I've never heard a good reason.
Well, it's actually not bad. There are people that keep off-market listings for themselves so they can try to double-end it. And the reality is that agents doing that, in my opinion, are screwing the seller over.
How does it's probably a topic for another day. I'm trying to figure. I don't see the logic. How if you're keeping it off the market anyway for double lending it, how does it coming soon change that?
So when you list a coming soon, right?
Someone reach
Oh,
out to you directly
I got you.
and
Okay,
not
I'm with
through
you.
the MLS.
I'm with you. Okay.
Right. They have to reach out to you directly, and they can't just go through the MLS, and not everybody's getting a chance to see it. So that's kind of
That's Neil's lawsuit now, is all about.
new lawsuit coming, right? So
Oh,
It's
really?
already,
Yeah.
it's already in the works. So
yeah.
that coming soon, off-market listings will be allowed.
Hold on, Rick. I want to hear what you have to say on this.
No, there's a new lawsuit that's out there about brokers being able to sell their own listings without having to put it in the MLS. I think that's going to happen. Everything's happening. I mean, the whole industry is being turned upside down as how we do. I've always thought personally that it was a restraint of trade issue that doesn't allow me to market the house and sell the house the way I want to sell it. But it's all happening.
I agree with you 100%. I think it's restrictive. I think RAIN does some things that restricts us from doing what we need to do for ourselves, because the reality is if I talk to my seller and I say, look, I'm doing a coming soon in this house, and he's okay with that, then I should be allowed to do that.
All the
Right.
other MLSs in the state do it.
Right. Tons
RAIN's
of
the
them.
only
Bright
one that
does
doesn't
it,
allow.
and all of them allow coming soons. I think it's a great, because you're getting maximum exposure. It helps. Can you imagine how much easier it would be, just like this topic we're talking about with Terry, how much easier it would be to get these open houses structured and get bigger open houses to get the houses? So yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
One other open house trick. Go ahead, Carrie, then I'll do it. Yes. Another open house trick, right? And you're going to love this. I would set up appointments, right? If I had an open house on a Saturday, every single person that she thinks she got under the camera, but she did not. Every single person that called for an appointment to see the house, I would book them during the open house. So if I had an open house 12 to 2 on Saturday, and somebody called me, hey, I would like to show the property on Saturday, yeah, we're available 12 to 2. Come anytime 12 to 2. I don't even tell them it's an open house. I just book it, because the more...
Somebody did that to me and I don't like that.
Yep, see, she doesn't like that, but you want to know why? I don't care if a buyer likes it or not. You want to know why?
Because he's working for the seller.
I work for the seller, and the more people I have in the house at the one time creates what?
Competition.
Creates FOMO, fear of missing out. And I want people to have the fear of missing out. I want 2 or 3 people in there in 2 or 3 different corners of the house talking about, oh, they look really interested. I like this house. No, they look in. I want that. Buyers may not like it, but I work for the seller, right? Right, there we go, fair.
And you do too.
Yes, go ahead, Sydney, what you got?
So, what about with luxury listings? Do you feel like that there should be do you feel like that it should be treated differently, and if so, how?
So the question was, what about luxury listings? I don't treat any house any differently than any other house, right? If I'm going to list a $250,000 house, everything that I just said I'm going to do for that. Why is that so blurry? I'm going to do the same thing for that I'm going to do for a $2 million house.
Because my butt got in the way and took the.
Refocused on your butt.
Nope.
Oh, there it goes. Yep, that's exactly what happened. So, all right. So that's what I think about that. I think you should treat every open house. You're not going to make it.
How low can she go?
That's called being old. She just hurt herself.
I did a 4.5-minute plank this morning.
All right, Carrie, come on up and talk to us. I know you have some thoughts on open houses and some things that can help with that. Yeah, you can walk in front of the camera now.
I think most of you have a List Reports account, right? If you don't, get with me and Ashley. We'll sync you up. If you're new, definitely get signed up. If you can pull up List Reports. Now my login is going to be different probably from what you guys see, but I just want to give you some general stuff. The reason why I want everybody to have accounts with List Reports is the moment you have a listing, it generates the entire package of information that you can use to market the property, open house, or just have in the house for showings, to share in the neighborhood, whatever you want to do. So here I pulled up Craig's.
Yeah, I don't know why you think that's mine.
I don't know. So it's not?
Alyssa's, isn't it
It's
Alyssa's?
Alyssa's.
Oh,
I'm stealing
it's,
Alyssa's list.
it's because you're the broker.
Ah!
So it's screwed it up. Okay, that's been a reoccurring problem. Okay, go back to the marketing kits
I
if
mean,
you can
I'm
for
happy
me.
to take it.
Yeah. Darn it.
Well,
Okay,
Alyssa's gonna
scroll
be
down a little bit.
Alyssa
Let's
will
see if I
not be
can find
amused.
one. Okay. Yeah, see that's what it's doing. I've got that happened with Kenny a while back. We got it fixed, I thought. All right.
Oh, look at all these lists.
I know.
Wow, I'm kicking some butt.
All right, so Erin, is that your listing? No, she's not here. Okay, she left. We'll go back up. We'll just click on one for Craig and we'll just pretend like it was Craig's listing. So yeah, Warren Hall. All right, so I'll get this situated. It's syncing to Craig rather than the individual agent. Okay. So scroll down. So sorry, scroll back up. Sorry. Okay. Okay, go down a little bit. Oh, here. Okay, okay, I see. This is what it did. And I've got to get that situated. Okay, so scroll down a little bit. Scroll down. All right. I don't know what it's doing here. Okay. Anyways, here. Sorry. With list reports, you'll be able to pull your marketing kits. It's right here. This is why. You gotta hit here. Nope. And like I said, your view is going to be different. This is what we want to do here. View. That's fine. Okay. So, and if you can scroll down for me on that. And what it's going to do is keep going. It creates all these different things for your listing. So let's hit the view for a property website. Right there. It's going to generate a website link that you can share on social media. It's just nice, it's clean. It doesn't take people to Zillow. It doesn't take them to realtor.com. Everybody uses these realtor.com and these Zillow links, but you're taking them away from you and putting them to a site where those people will generate the leads. So that's why I like these. It's colorful, it's bright. The version that shows up on people's smartphones is really user friendly. So I highly recommend using these. Unless you're going to just share your actual RAIN listing. Do not share Zillow links, please, guys, because the moment they go to it, if they want information, they're going to get outsourced to somebody else. So, and the same thing with Realtor.com and all of the others, all of them. Use sites like this because it takes them back to you and you generate the information. So again, if you want to close out of that.
You have that up on your iPad or whatever, at an open house. What a great thing for them to just sit there and explore.
Yeah. And then there's all kinds of different property websites. And then if you go down to the print documents, here's where it'll automatically generate your open house flyer, promo flyer, infographics. This is really cool. This should be good for this house. Click the download for the infographic because I think this is over in Red Mill. Yeah. So you're going to get really, not every listing. Do you want the infographic on? Pick and choose wisely. I'm not gonna, P-Town, be very careful. But see, if you look here, scroll down a little bit, you get all this information. It's kind of cool, like look, movie theater, keep scrolling. This is something to have to hand out. Keep going if you can. Keep going. So see, like it's got all this cool information. This is stuff you can share on social media. I wouldn't share like this whole thing, but maybe share like one little picture of it, add it with the listing picture. And this is all the, it's just cool information. It's pulling together. That right there, that's a huge one. I would be putting in the social media marketing. 998. We all know it's Red Mill, so it should be. But this is just really easy. And again, it generates immediately after your listing goes in. There is no work you have to do. What I do recommend doing, though, is going into your list reports profile, making sure your logo is up to date. There's certain things that we can do, but then the rest of it you have to do yourselves. I'm sorry, guys.
Will you hold a class on how everybody can get into their own list reports?
Yeah, I'll have to have Ashley come do it. But yeah, okay. Yeah, absolutely.
We'll do that for next week.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. But
yeah, Ashley has to be in costume.
Okay. So this is very helpful. And again, it automatically generates. Now, If you're trying to hold someone else's listing open, go back to the list reports view. We need to get one of those like things that allows us to do the whole thing up at the top. The other one, the other tab, please. Thank you. Go back out. Hit the back button, please. Hit the back button. Back. And then back. Go back to marketing kits. And then scroll down a little bit. Melissa just did one. So Melissa Coates. So click here, view. She did an open house for Kenny's listing, and she was able to create her own flyer through Kenny's listing. So she can pull through listings through the brokerage. And so she was able to have all of her materials and everything created for her. If you scroll down, keep scrolling. See, and there it was. And that was for her, the listing she did for the open house she did over the weekend. So again, it's not just for what listings you have if you're going to, do an open house for someone else. Also, if you want to go all out and do the multi-night open house, we can help you with materials as well. Now, can you come to me and Ashley on a Tuesday for an open house on a Friday? No, guys, come on. I'm a mortgage banker. She's a marketing person. We are not like a full-time marketing team. I've got to have some heads up. Like if Kenny's going to list a house next week and you want to have some things going, this is on the fly. Melissa had this the same day. If you want more broad materials, if you want, flyers or postcards to hand out, announcements, lean on door hangers, lean on Ashley because that's what she does for me. She's a guru with Canva, everything else. But these things take time, and some of them we have to get approved through my marketing department because we are a financial institution. But if you want to start doing this, if this is your initiative to start doing an open house once a month, get with me and Ashley and we can have these things pre-created, and then it's just plug and play with the addresses and information. I highly recommend if you're going to go around door knocking, you're handing people something. Don't just tell them about the open house. Hand them something, an item of value that gives them the details, all the information. In the door hangers too. Exactly. So, but these things take time, and we're more than happy to help collaborate if you want to do HomeBot postcards. Remember, HomeBot's also another thing